Are you sick of staring at 0, 1, or 2 viewers for hours when you do your streams? Just wondering how to get past that dreaded hump? And you want to blow up your stream to 10 plus, 50 plus, 100 plus viewers, but you're just not sure how? Well, I'm going to show you the exact blueprint you need to follow in this video right now. If you're new here, my name's Cody, and I've been streaming for over 8 years now. So trust me, I get it. I've been in the trenches just like you have. So I've broken this down into 3 easy actionable steps that you can follow right after watching this video, so you can start getting the viewers that you totally deserve. Now, assuming you already have the basics down, you already know how to stream, and your channel looks decent, not like a pile of trash, which if that's the case, just grab my streamer starter pack in the description down below. It's just plug and play. Make your stream look pro in literal seconds. But assuming you know how to stream and your channel doesn't look like Dookie, let's dive into the big problem that everyone's facing. The big problem that everyone faces is they stream oversaturated games like Mario Kart World, Fortnite, any of these top games up here, and they're wondering why they're not getting any views. But if we click on literally any of these and we start scrolling, you can see you're competing with hundreds, if not thousands of different streamers. So getting found this way is next to impossible. But if you've watched a couple of YouTube videos, then you probably know that, oh, okay, well, I'll play less saturated games that have less streamers, so that way I can get found easier. However, even if you do something like this, and we click on something like this, you're still gonna have a cap to how many viewers you can have because people naturally have to find you through Twitch, which is honestly awful. So that leads us to step 1 of the process, and that's realizing that the real discoverability is not actually on Twitch. It's actually on other platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, because as you can see here, it's way easier to get views and traffic on your short form content than it is naturally getting viewers on Twitch. Then the idea is that you funnel over your traffic from these other platforms over to your Twitch streams. However, I know most people just want to stream and don't want to make additional content like this because it's frustrating and takes too long when you're first getting started. And that's why we now have tools like Nexus Clips, which I'll show you later in the video how we can make it way more efficient, but it is truly worth it because the traffic is insane. So then you create some YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels. Maybe they're getting a couple hundred views, maybe a couple thousand views. And then you start complaining, like, man, I've been putting out the short form content, getting hundreds of views on each, and I still haven't gotten any Twitch viewers to come over to my stream. That's because of a couple things. The first is most likely you don't have enough content out there for them to binge to get to know you. The second is that the content is all over the place, whether it's Call of Duty content, and then Destiny content, and then Mario Kart content. It's all over the friggin' place. Or the third is that your content simply just isn't intriguing enough for them to want to keep watching more. Which leads us to step number 2. I was doing a review of Honor Guard's TikToks over on my Twitch live stream, which I do every week, so go check it out if you want. And this problem I see with so many different streamers. You can see that they're posting a lot of different TikToks, but they're all stuck within about 300 views, give or take. You might have some that have a couple thousand every once in a while, but mainly it's just a couple hundred. And so if we go to click and actually watch one of these TikToks, there's one big problem, and that's there's no good hook to actually captivate in our viewer. And there's a second big problem is that context is everything. The reason that almost all of these TikToks are not doing well or performing well past 300 views is that context and hook are not really existent in these TikToks. Basically what's happening is these are like jokes that are happening during the stream, except the problem is you would need to be there or get context in order to understand the actual joke. And unfortunately, there's just not enough context or clues in here in the first 3 seconds of the TikTok to actually give that to the viewer to hook them in to keep watching till the very end. So in order to remedy this, let me show you a couple of decent examples that actually performed well. This is a YouTube short that I posted on my dead YouTube channel, my gaming channel, which I don't post to. And just look what happens in the first like 3 seconds. I'm gonna hit play. We have Only Up, but you're a frog. Literally in the first second you're watching this, if you're familiar with Only Up, that dreaded game that if you fall, you go all the way back down to the bottom, but you're a frog. And so it literally cuts right into the action. Literally the first second, boom, Only Up, your frog, landing on a plane, fall off the plane, get back on the plane. There's so much action in the first couple seconds, and the context is all right there. You don't need to know what Only Up is, essentially. You can just see that we're jumping right in the action. You don't see this every day. So this will usually stop you from scrolling and be like, oh my God, what is this? So that is the hook. It drives the curiosity of people wanting to watch more just based off of the first 1, 2, 3 seconds. So let's take a look at another good example, because this one got 15,000 views on a pretty much dead YouTube channel. So let's check out the next one. So this is another example. This one's like Only Up, but you drive a bathtub. I know, crazy bonkers, right? So we did that. So if we play this, the first 2 seconds, we have the hook on the screen right here. This game is literally impossible. Literally, as soon as you scroll into this short, you know this is a very difficult game. It looks difficult right here. We got pop captions to like hook in our viewer. So if we play it, we say, here we go, here we go. We're gonna full send it right now. This is the shot. This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. And so we're gonna go for it. This is going, this going, is going. We're gonna fall. Oh, we're not gonna fall. Wait, nope, we're still on here. And we're still in it. We're still in it. Oh, we got this. And we are still in it. And we are now off. And we lost about 40 minutes of time. And then literally it just ends right after this. So it's gonna land, boom, end, done. So you have the context, you have the hook, you have everything that's going to hook in a complete stranger from going from the beginning of your clip all the way to the very end. Because of the first 3 seconds, because of that hook, that's what drives the viewer to ultimately watch till the end, which tells the algorithm that this is a good short video and it's going to push it to more people, which is going to break us out of that 300 viewer purgatory. So just another quick little recap. Step 2 is all about making a good hook and ultimately just creating context and good content for your viewer to go from complete stranger at the beginning to a viewer that finishes all the way to the end of the video, which ultimately pushes that video to get more than 300 views because the algorithm thinks it's a good video. Which brings us to step number 3, and that's increasing how efficient we can make this whole process so we don't burn ourselves out in the process. Because this is how it usually goes. You start your stream, you stream for a few hours, maybe a lot of hours, you end your stream, you go through your Twitch VOD trying to find good clippable moments that could make good shorts. You end up finding a couple that were like, maybe. So you go and you try and edit to the best of your ability to make it even a little better, and then you post while mainly crossing your fingers hoping that it's going to get more than 300 views. When deep down inside, you know that you're just trying to put sprinkles on a turd and call it an ice cream sundae. Maybe even put that little cherry on top. But as soon as you take that first spoonful, you know. And there's a couple of really good secrets that I've been using myself to improve my efficiency. The next time you stream, I want you to change your mindset of how can I make good clips. For this clip in particular, I knew that I was busting my balls here and I was falling it hundreds of times and I knew it was really difficult. So I knew I was probably going to fall. However, I changed my mindset and I was like, you know what? Next time I go up here, I'm going to say something, which I said, all right, chat, I think I finally figured out this time. We're going to go full send it. Here we go. This is the one. So just because I said that, I knew that was going to be my hook for the clip, whether I ended up making it, whether I fell again. I just knew that I was in the mindset of like, this could be a really good clip before the clip was even created. So you can use that mindset and you don't have to do it for the whole stream, but just a couple minutes aside where maybe you know, like, hey, like if I purposely fall, it would be a lot funnier and a lot more entertaining and I could say this and it would just be better. You could almost script your short before it even happens. Now you don't have to do this every time, but it will set you up to get more clippable moments from your streams than it would just being like, oh wow, that was cool, and you have a 0.001% chance of it being an actual decent clip. So once you've gotten to that mindset and you've set yourself up for that, you can also use the replay buffer, which you just set a hotkey in OBS or Streamlabs to capture the last 60 seconds, however long, of your stream and just gives you the video file. So that way you don't have to spend hours looking for clips. And if you want to know how to do that in detail, I'll leave a guide at the end of this video, so stick around. But the real secret sauce on how to do all of this stuff, this little hook on the screen, the animated captions, the basically quick edits that normally take beginners hours to do, is using an AI tool called Nexus Clips. And they were nice enough to sponsor today's video so I can walk you through my process of how I use it to save literal hours doing my streams and clips and all that sort of stuff. All you do is go to their homepage, which is linked in the description down below, and you can sign in, and then you'll connect your Twitch or YouTube account. Then when you're inside here, you'll have a choice between either just doing your stream, and then you'll get an email with them telling you the best moments the AI found from your clips. But I actually prefer using that replay buffer feature, which I told you about, and I'll show you how to use it later, and importing that clip directly into Nexus because I know it's a banger of a clip, so I just want to use the editing tools from it. But if you're even super duper lazy, you can have the AI scrub your video by clicking on that email you get after your stream ends. So if you choose to upload your clip and import it, then this is what it would look like. You would just have your horizontal video right here, and then you'd be able to choose your gameplay and just drag it and then click your face. And you can also choose your different styles. So if you want to just do full screen, if you want to do, you know, upper face cam, if you want to do lower, triple, all this sort of stuff, quadruple. You can also change things over here. Let me hide my webcam so you can actually see it better. But this is what the preview looks like here. So you just choose all that stuff there, and then you have your little timeline at the bottom. So then you can have your hook. If you go and click in the top left here, you got a hook. So I said this game is literally impossible. You can say whatever you want, and then you literally just choose the style. I chose this one. So you can scroll. They have so many different options, and this just saves so much time. And then you have your timeline down here for how long the hook stays on the screen. So just bring it to the beginning and hit play. And then after it ends right here, it pops off the screen. And so you can do the same thing with the sticker. If you want to have like your YouTube handle on the screen, or if you want to have your Twitch handle on the screen, all you have to do is replay the video at the front, and then you'll see this is the sticker indicated by the sticker icon there. And then you can click and drag to put it wherever you want. Now we don't want to have the screen cluttered too much, so I'm actually going to opt out of the sticker. I'm just going to click on it and then hit the delete option after I highlight it like so, and it's going to get rid of the sticker. And then you have the animated captions, which honestly saves the most amount of time personally, and especially they like to highlight highlight the words that are being said, which is super dope, and you don't see it super often. So I ended up going with the red one, but they have a ton of different options you can pick from. And you can go and individually click on words if it may have messed it up. So for example, this one says center, and then I can go and change it to full send because I said send and not center. And then boom, full send, ready, and it's done. Literally took 2 seconds. And then once again, you have the framing if you need to, but you just go and you can create little cuts and different moments here. You can also zoom in and out using this little magnifying glass. So you literally just do your minor edits. You can cut the video. So if you want to cut here and then cut there, you can delete it and then cut out that dead air to increase the pacing and just make it more natural. Then when you have everything done to your liking and you've previewed it, so you've gone to the front and you've watched it all the way through, you're like, okay, yeah, this is a banger clip. I like it. Go all the way there. All you have to do is click share in the top right corner. You can either download it, which I'd recommend, and you can upload it to, you know, TikTok and YouTube. But if you're even super lazy, you can just straight up connect your TikTok and YouTube account and just publish it directly through here. But once again, I would recommend doing the download. I just feel like I like having more control, so I prefer that. And doing this consistently over time will get more and more viewers, as long as you're putting in the work to try and improve each piece of content just 1% better than the last. So if you want to try it out yourself, you can go to nexusclips.com and use my discount code down below to save that money, y'all. And if you're ready to use that replay buffer feature that I mentioned earlier, then watch this video to the side of me. It's a super easy to follow guide on how to use it. So give it a watch. My name's Cody, and I'll see you in the next one.